Hi fams, how you all doing? You're welcome back to my YouTube channel. So without wasting much of our time, I will be doing a review on the Silver Crest Blender. Some of you have watched my previous video on this blender review, but at that time I just got the blender like newly. I just did an unboxing and I did a brief, like I tested the blender. So I decided to like use the blender for at least up to 6 months before coming back to do another review on the blender. That is why I am here now. And also there are some questions, or will I say confusion or whatever, that I noticed on the comment section. Some person saying one or two things, about the blender that I want to like clarify. So just sit tight. If you are interested in this blender, like you are confused or whatever, just watch this video to the end. I'm going to be clearing your fears or your doubts. Out. Oh, see dust. The bees are turned to dust. See dust. So I want to tell, like, for this period of 6 months that I've used, 6 months plus, because I got this blender early February. That should be first week of February, and this is, as in July is already has already ended. So I would say it's 7 months. So for this, is this 7 months? Let me say 6 months. Yeah. So for this period of 6 months, I've used this blender. I've really not had or encountered any issue. It's been serving me like for the purpose. If you've been following up on my other videos, on the channel, you'll notice that I use this blender as in like literally for everything. I use it to blend pepper, tomatoes, and this is what I do every day because I cook every day. I blend different things. I make moi moi with this blend, like blend my beans for moi moi, blend beans for akara, make tiger nuts. So for this blender to have, like I told you, when I got this blender, or before I didn't really in mind to buy this, as in to go for this blender, because I've had so many as in like negative things about this blender. So for me, when I even got this blender, I wasn't really thinking, or I didn't hope that this blender will serve me for this period of 6 months. Like, to be honest with you, I just wanted to give it a try. So for this blender to have served me for this period of 6 months and still, going without, will I say, stress or whatever, I would say that it's good though. This blender is good though. Like, it's good. I'm not like telling you to go and buy. If you want to buy blender, if you have another one, you can. But I'm just trying to, clear this thing that people have about this blender. For me, it has served me for 6 months, and it's good, because some persons will say, the same day they bought the blender, that was when the blender got spoiled. The same day they bought the blender, they threw it because it was bringing out smoke. It did this and that, different things. Some people will even say that it will not, like, it will not, they won't cannot grind this tiger nuts, all those things. But my own I use it to blend carrots, I use it to blend tiger nuts, I use it to blend everything. I'm doing in this house is this blender. I don't have another blender. It's even now that I'm thinking of getting another one, so that I don't like give this blender that much work, because everything I'm doing is just this mess. So in that aspect of whether it is lasting or whatever, or whether it's doing the purpose why I got the blender, yes, it is serving me. Now secondly, I want to talk about one thing about this blender, like the only, will I say, challenge I've encountered, which is not really a big thing because it happens to other blenders too. Look at these two blenders, because I don't really use this one that much. I don't stress this one. Like I told you, if you watched my previous video, like I told you that since it has two jars, like I'm going to be using this one basically for dry stuff, like I want to blend crayfish, dry pepper or whatever. Though sometimes I still add water to what I'm blending, but this is the one that does most of the work. So that is why this one now gave me that challenge. So if you're looking at this one, it's still very clean, so maybe that's why the thing did not happen to this one. If you look at under, like here now, you see that there is nothing like rust. This one is still very clean, like nothing like rust. And look looking at this sorry, looking at this is it not, I don't even know what to call it. Look at what I'm showing you. This thing now is tightly fitted to this other one, like it's not shaking, it's tightly fitted. So I don't encounter any form of leakage with this one. Why? Maybe it's because I don't really use it for wet things. Why this one? Looking at this one now, come closer. This one now, can you see there is this kind of, as if it's rusting, yeah. And this particular thing is not tightly fitted to this other one. See, like, sorry, as it is. Can you see, like moving, I can move it anyhow, as in there is space here, there is space in between this knot and the base, there is space, which is not like that, with this one. This one is okay, it's not leaking. So that is the major challenge that is the only challenge I would say I've encountered in this blender. But then it doesn't still stop it from doing its work. Like I said, it's not really a big challenge because the solution to it is just to change this blade, and they will remove this thing entirely. When they remove it and fix another one, everything will still come back to normal. When this thing happened when this thing happened the first time, I felt bad. Yes, I was like, this thing that people are saying about this blender, it has happened to me, because I'll be blending stuff like tomatoes. Tomatoes has water, and so as in the thing will be dropping from under the water, will be dripping from under the blender. I'll be like, what is it? So, and I noticed that this thing was becoming very loose. Like it was, if you said, I managed to tighten it myself, like, but then it was so, you will hear the sound, like it's very free, like loose. Please, see me. Carry your laptop. Go this way. My son will not allow me to do this in peace. So I was feeling bad. I was like, why would this blender behave this way? Why would it be dry? I was thinking it's a very big challenge. So I contacted, like, my mother-in-law was around then. I told her about it. So she was, because she has this kind of blender, but not Silver Crest. She has this debut, as in the same thing, like without looking very well, as in without looking at the brand name, closely, you would think her own is also Silver Crest, but hers is a Panasonic, and it's very strong. In fact, I would say her own is even stronger than this one. Her own is stronger than this, my Silver Crest. Yes, I don't know is if it's the same wattage. My own is 5,000 watts. I don't know if her own is also 5,000 watts or 8,000. Of course, the higher the wattage, the more this thing work the blender can do. So she was like that it has happened to her own also. What she did was to give it, if you go to all these electronics, or I don't know, but then around you, as in ask people around you, in your neighborhood also, there must be somewhere they fix blenders. So she took it to the place and they changed this thing for her, like everything. The blade comes with this, so they changed it for her, and it was still, as in the leakage stopped. So she told me that that's what I will have to do. So I wanted to do it then, but I considered something after she told me that I should go and change it. But I was not like, I don't have any other blender at this point, like as in at that moment. So if I should take it there, I don't know if it's something that they will just do that same day and give it back. So I was feeling reluctant about it, Sha. I continued using the blender like that. I was like, I'll go. But guys, like, miracle happened. I don't know how it happened, and I noticed the thing wasn't coming out again, like it wasn't leaking. I wasn't experiencing that leakage. So I was like, this thing just, repaired itself. So because of that, I've not seen, now I'm using like that. I've not like bothered myself to go and change it though. Of which I know I will still do it though, but then till now, for this 6 months, I've not changed anything in this blend. I'm still using it and it's working, it's serving me. So what happened again is that after it was just a free sale like 2 weeks back. I was using it to blend what was that? I can't remember. I started noticing that leakage again. So I was like, Emanuela, this is a sign that you should go and change this thing. So what I now did, like, because when it happened, I noticed that as just as it's tight now, there won't really be leakage, but sometimes might be blending the thing because there is a kind of a friction, or will I say contact with the this. I don't know how you are doing. I don't start speaking grammar, but as I was blending, I noticed that this thing became loose again because it's noise. Because once it's loose, you'll be hearing this kind of noise, like the blender will change, the sound will change. So I was there like, I knew that the thing has, gone nuts again. So I had to now pause. So when I checked the blender, I saw that when I checked on that, I saw that this thing was now very loose again. So what I did was, and I said, okay, I can actually tight it on myself. Look at what I did. It was here was just very loose. I don't know. This particular thing now, they wrote open and close. All this I've been using this blender. I didn't know that I can even open this blender. Like I can open it and put my hand inside and wash this thing very well. So when it happened that day, I noticed that this thing was very loose. Like it was very easy for me to open. It was very loose. So what I did was to tighten it again. So after I tightened it again and started using, the leakage stopped. So now I was like, oh, I've seen the medicine. I probably might not be changing anything again. Anytime the thing goes not, I will tighten it. So that is just the only thing I will say I've noticed about this blender. Maybe I should open it and show you how it's and how you can do it yourself. So like this place that they wrote the base here now, you can open it. Though it wasn't for me to open it, it opens easily when the as in like maybe in fact like so look at it. Ooh. See, so guys, this is how it is. So this way now, most times like when you want to wash blender, this thing doesn't really allow our hand to go in to wash it. So in case you use this blender for something like pounded yam, okra, or stuff that is not easy to wash out easily, so you might need to lose it and then wash it properly. Though I usually don't lose this thing, like I don't lose it always. Like I've only done it once for this, and this one was just after 6 months, because the thing gave me reason to know, because all this while I've been using, I didn't even know that I can do this. So it's because the thing now became loose, by on its own, I was not able to tighten it. I was like, oh, so you can even lose this and close it back. So that was how I knew. And then I'm just showing you, not like if you go and buy it and you start losing it anyhow, anything you want to wash, you lose it. I'm not saying it to spoil it, but I'm just trying to tell you that I haven't been doing that. So that is that about the leakage. So I will still tie this. In fact, let me tighten it back so you see. This thing has, so make sure that this side fits into it. So put your hand to support so that it will not be shifting. Then put it inside and screw. Can you see? So that is it. For this one, there is no need for me to lose or whatever. If I talk about, so I saw a comment, someone asked me, is this code, because I mentioned this in my post, I mentioned this code XC 1589, I think. Yeah, I mentioned it in my previous video that it is, as in, if a blender has that code, that you know is original. So I saw a comment like that we shouldn't get it all wrong, that we know that different wattage, as in, you know, this blender has different wattage. We have 3000 watts, we have 2008, we have 45, we have 5 and all that they have different packaging, you know, so that saying that SC1589 also is the best, that we shouldn't get. I really don't, I'm not trying to say that, like I mentioned in that my previous video, that though it comes more in this black carton also, that there are still other colors like white. You see original, for you to look out for the real number, which is the code. I mentioned that in that this thing, even if that it's coming in a different color, you know, of carton, at least let us start with SC, meaning Silver Crest. I gave an instance. I gave there was a picture that I attached to that video. That picture came in also black. I think it also came in black, as in that blender was also in black, but then it didn't start being white. I can't even remember, but it didn't start with SC, which is Silver Crest. It started with something like, or a Chinese, you know, later, something like that. So that's just what I was trying to. I'm not trying to say that it was the black. There are some that are white or whatever, but then let's just start with that Silver Crest. So as in, look at some of these pictures I'm going to, as in, that will be displayed now. You understand what I'm talking about? For example, I have 3005 that started with that SC, and you have another 3005 that started with a different code. Like if you go to the market now and you see these two blenders, which one will you pick? So for the price of the blender, or the cost of the blender, like I said, as in, I don't think it's, yeah, most times expensive things tends to be original. I say most times, but in this our country, Nigeria, sometimes they will even give you fake or imitation, you know, at that high rate. Think, as in, for you to feel like it is original. Why I'm saying this is because I've seen some comments, I've seen some persons that, you know, they complain that they bought their own at a very high. I got mine, as in, for 22,000 plus. I can't really remember the fraction, either 22,900 or 22,800. But there are some persons that bought theirs at 35k, you know, 35k or even more, 28k or whatever. But then they are the ones crying that they didn't even use this blender more than a day. Like it didn't serve them at all. So I don't think sometimes the price, as in that the price is very high, like, you know, does not make that thing to be that original. So just look out for some of the things that you know that I've listed here. You can still do other researches to like guide you when you are getting your blender. So how you can avoid this, for some persons that said that their own was bringing out smoke, or so how you can avoid it by not, as in, don't stress this blender now. Don't just put some, like as you are blending, you just leave it to run for minutes, or no, you regulate it. Like it should be off for 30 seconds max. You off, as in, like, not you pause and allow it rest for like 10 seconds.
So I'm blending beans for moi moi. It's weekend, so I want to show you that this blender is still serving me. It is blending these beans properly. So at the point that, as in, this is, I just started and there is no, because I blended this bean for like in 4 batches. So at this beginning, like, because I've not really stressed the blender, is still, you know, there is no form of leakage. But you see that, as in, the more I use the blender, and especially as I increase the speed of the blender, so it causes the pressure to be more on the things. Can you see the leakage I'm talking about? But for the main, look at how I manage it. Like it, as in, it doesn't happen all the time. It's once in a while that I experience this. So I've not like changed this thing. I'm supposed, once I change this thing, there won't be problem again. But for now, like I told you guys, I'm not yet ready. So this is how I manage it. Once I notice that leakage, as I know that this thing is loose, so I'm tightening it back. I will just tighten it, you know, and you will see now that leakage has stopped. That's just how I manage it. and I'll continue to blend. So guys, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. In fact, you should have done that even at the beginning of this, because I know this video is helpful to you. But if you haven't done so, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and tell me in the comment section that it was helpful to you, or it is helpful, whatever. Thank you for watching. Bye.